Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Reconnection Space. This is the space we come to talk about reconnection with ourselves, reconnection in the world around us, with our relationships. And you know, I've been out there collecting stories from amazing people. I've met some amazing people thanks to what started off as this little YouTube channel project I had. And I wanted to give real people the opportunity to share their reconnection moment. So, you know, lots of the people featured we know have been in business, but this is where we get to hear the story behind that. And that's what we really want to hear, isn't it? We want to hear the story. So it's no exception today. I have an amazing guest here with me today. She is full on in the summer holidays, so she's juggling mum mode, entrepreneur mode. She's squirreled away in her upstairs bedroom, okay, to make time for us today. It's the amazing Jo Meakin of Find Your Bloom.
Hello, hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming onto the Reconnection Space.
I'm very excited to be here.
Now, Jo, we've had a chat before, and you are kind of on a bit of an exploration in terms of, you know, what's going on. So firstly, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you're up to, because you're up to something pretty special at the moment.
Yes, no, I am. Hi, well, I'm Jo. I'm the founder of Find Your Bloom, which is all about empowering women to take back that control over their happiness and their own well-being. But alongside that, I'm also a mum for 3, a stepmom to 2. I'm owned by a dog and a cat. It's all a bit manic and chaotic. So yeah.
Lovely. So we love that. We love to know the background, and I love a household that's as chaotic as mine, with kids and stepkids and animals, and yeah, that's what we need. That's what we're juggling, right?
Definitely. No, it's definitely a juggle, but I think it keeps you quite young. Just try and stay calm through it. So yeah.
Now, before we dive into your story, and thank you, as with everyone, for agreeing to share your sort of personal story, you're kind of in the middle of arranging something wonderful that involves a teepee.
But yeah, I'm arranging the first ever Find Your Bloom Day Retreat, which is coming up in October. And it's in a teepee in the grounds of a country hotel in Shropshire. So it's going to be amazing. And we've got some of the UK's kind of top speakers and experts lined up. We've got a spoken word artist, meditation workshop, laughter yoga workshop, and we've also got an inspirational women showcase as well. So yeah, so that's quite exciting. That's coming up in October. So that's taking up quite a lot of time at the moment, but now I'm really excited about that.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about that and how people can find out when we get to the end of your story. But what our viewers, our listeners are always interested in is your reconnection moment and kind of, I guess, how you got to be where you are. So take us back in time, Jo, and tell us what was going on for you.
Yeah, well, a few years ago, and actually it's part of the reason that I launched Find Your Bloom, probably came from my reconnection moment, and I wanted to help others to do the same. But if we rewind a few years, I wasn't actually in that good a place at all. I had very severe depression. I had crippling anxiety that went alongside that. But I had quite a severe alcohol addiction.
Okay.
I was very dependent on that. That was my medicine. That was how I cope with things. And obviously that's not the right way to do it. It just makes things worse. And yeah, life wasn't good at all. My relationship had broken up. Thankfully, we're now back together. But at the time, it just felt I had to move house, leave the house we were in, move kind of away, leave my job, and it just all spiraled. Things got really bad. And I had actually. I decided that I was kind of in just a drain on the girls. They could do so much better. I was holding them back, and I kind of, I had sort of the plan that the best thing for me to do was not be here. So I was really, really low. Wow. But I think my reconnection moment actually came because it'd been building up to how bad it had got for years and years. It's not something that just suddenly happened overnight. And if I look back, probably, kind of since my mid-20s, I've been battling, and it's just been getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
But I'd always had, I knew I wanted to be happy, and I was trying to find it through the approval of other people. I was trying to find it, if I had this job, then I would feel this way. If I did this, if I lost so much weight, I was always trying to find something to kind of, give me that magic sort of instant fix.
Yes.
And the only thing I'd never ever done, I blamed everybody for how I was, everyone else in my life, things that happened. And I'd never actually taken responsibility myself. And I was just when I was in a really bad place, the only respite I got, we've got a dog, Merlin. And it was in every day. Obviously, when you've got the children, it's quite easy. You can hide at home and just watch movies all day. You don't have to go out. But the only thing that forced me to get out was obviously walking the dog. Quite big, he's quite lively. He needs exercise. And it was being over the fields with Merlin. I used to walk for hours with him, and with Daisy strapped in the carrier on my front. And that was the only time that I really kind of felt I could escape my head, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I remember I was out walking with him one day, and I just had this little random thought. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I've never actually blamed myself for the mess I'm in. And it sounds, at the time, I didn't really pay a great deal of attention to it, but it planted a little seed, and that little seed started to grow. And it was actually that kind of got me into starting very tentatively to look into kind of mindset stuff, self-development. And it's been that mindset and self-development, and various different alternative therapies, probably a little bit of woo thrown in there as well.
Well, we love a bit of that.
Yeah, you can't beat a bit of woo. But it's really, really turned my life around, and it's been baby steps. It's not been but it's so I think it was definitely that throwaway thought on that walk with Merlin that was kind of my reconnection, really.
So I think, thank you for being so honest, and let's just go over a few of those points. So you said there that, at sort of your lowest time, you had an alcohol addiction, and to actually sit here, and I know that you talk about this as well on social media. You talk about how long you've been sober, and you talk also openly about the challenge that you have in terms of staying on that road, and I think that's just, that is part of recovery. That's what I see with clients, is they turn up, and the clients that are all about, well, they should have, and they didn't, and they could have, and if they had done this, and when they're in that space, recovery is really difficult. But when they shift into the space you talked about of, regardless of what happened, it happened. I did what I did. I chose what I chose. Suddenly, we're in a recovery space.
Yeah, it's like you're taking that power back, and you're giving yourself the opportunity to then do something about it. Because I think when you're blaming other people, you don't really have any power over those other people. So it's not something you feel that you can change. But once you take that, kind of that responsibility back yourself, it suddenly makes it a problem that you can actually address and you can actually do something about. And until I reached that point, there was no way recovery was going to even start happening. I think I needed to get to that point to start it ultimately. So
because recovery comes from within you, doesn't it? Recovery is, and again, you can have someone send you to therapy, you can have someone put you in recovery, and that's all about them and that person, and that's kind and loving. But if you're not on board with that,
exactly,
it's the same.
Do it. You've got to want to do it. And obviously kind of support of others is brilliant, it's great, and it's really useful. But ultimately, if you're not in a space, or you're not wanting that support of other people, it doesn't really doesn't really mean a great deal, as horrible as that sounds. And I know, having spoken to I was quite secretive about it. I would do things like I wouldn't arrange to go anywhere in the morning, where I would have to risk driving because I knew I was over the limit. I wouldn't let the girls have sleepovers, because as soon as 5 o'clock hit, that was it. That was wine time. I wouldn't arrange things in the evening. I'd kind of, if I was going to buy, in the supermarket. I'd make up these elaborate excuses to the cashiers who probably hadn't even, weren't even bothered how much wine I was buying. Oh, I'm
No.
having a big party. You get very secretive. So there was very few people that actually realised the extent of it. And I know from speaking to my other half now, just how hard it was for him to kind of see me going through that, and he was trying to offer all the support. Yet I wasn't in a place to take it. So I know it probably is quite hard and quite frustrating for family members as well to, to kind of to know what to do. It's but yeah, it's just something that has to come from within first.
And let's just reflect on that as well, because when people talk about alcohol addiction, lots of people, and I've been there as well, you get an image of sort of, the person on the street that's fallen over, they're unwashed. You don't think about the person who's holding down on the outside a very, very normal life. You've got the children, you've got your own property, you're married, you're not sat there drinking cans of lager, you're having a glass of wine every night, and the glass of wine becomes 2 glasses of wine, and and I hear this so much from the women, that, and I think this is a real kind of a danger zone for women, because we make a lot of social comment about, oh, is it wine o'clock time, I'm the same, can't wait to get the Prosecco open, and all of this, and it seems very acceptable.
It is. No, it's definitely acceptable, and which isn't a bad thing, because for the majority of people, that's fine. They can have glass of wine, and it's further than that. But then you have the people like me that it was two bottles a night. Sometimes some nights it was probably more, and when I was, and I would feel really good if I'd only managed to have 1 bottle, but then I couldn't just have that. I then have to buy a bottle of cider and use that in wine glasses. But then I felt really good about myself, because I was like, oh, actually, that's less units. And it was just ridiculous. And those stereotypes that you get are quite dangerous, actually, because I know that I would justify to myself that I didn't have a problem because I wasn't rolling around on the street with a kind of a bottle of White Lightning in a paper bag, and I can't be an alcoholic. I don't drink in the day. I don't. But ultimately, I was, and it was completely ruining my life. Yeah, it was hard to see myself as an alcoholic in that way, because I didn't fit the stereotype. And I've since spoken to a lot of people who, were in the same place. So it kind of, stereotypes aren't always the real picture. And in fact, I think there's very few alcoholics that actually do fit that stereotype. It's definitely being the acceptable is a hard one, and the reaction you get, because it is so acceptable, the reaction you get when people find out that you don't drink, it is you're almost treated a bit like an alien.
It's still quite a thing, isn't it, for somebody to say, I don't drink. And I'm as guilty as the rest of people. You offer someone a drink and they say, oh, no, thank you, I don't drink. And there is a part of you that goes, oh, okay. So you now abstain completely, don't you? You've been sober for how long now have you been sober?
Well, because I did mine in baby steps. Because for me, because it had been part of my life for so long, I couldn't just stop. If I felt that I was stopping, I was never going to drink again. My brain just couldn't cope with that. It went into panic mode. So I did mine I had lots of little sober periods, getting longer and longer and longer each time. It's like the pathways in your brain. It's almost, somebody explained quite well, it's like if you think of a mountain, and the first time someone tries to make a path, it's very it's not very easy to get through, but the more times they go over that path, the more times you've had like these sober periods, the easier it gets. So I did that, and I sort of used that to kind of stop my at-home drinking. And I'd always said, because that felt so final then when I'd stopped that, I thought, maybe I'll still have a social drink occasionally. And I hadn't had a drink. Gosh, it's got to be. It was. I'd been sober. I hadn't had a drink for about 6 months. And right at the start of this year, I went to a friend's wedding. I thought, right, I'm just going to see if I'm in a space to kind of just have a little sober. And I just wasn't. I just straight away, the old things came back. I wanted more. And then I was like, no, that I can't. No. I'm obviously somebody who can either have one socially, So for me, but yeah, so prior to that, I hadn't had anything for you know, for a good time. And I've, over the past sort of two years, I think prior to say kind of 2016, 2017, I'd been having these increasingly kind of longer and longer periods.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so it's been baby steps. And I know for some people it's better than just to give up, but I couldn't, because that just sent me into overwhelmed panic mode then. So
I think it is whatever it
exactly.
takes to give you the path that you need, and yours has been successful. So thank you so much for that honesty. When we post this, you'll see as on these postings, we'll put some details there of support that's available. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I think that might be me tipping over the edge a little bit, then we'll make sure that you've got somewhere to come and talk to. So you had this reconnection moment, you're walking the dog, things had got really low, then you started into the self-development, and now you have Find Your Bloom. I love that, because you're blooming and my ladies are roaring, so it's fabulous, isn't it? So what is it that you want for Find Your Bloom? What message is it that people need to hear?
It's really, and it kind of it comes completely from my reconnection moment. The message that I want to do is I really want to empower people, particularly women, to kind of just take back that own control, that own responsibility over their own well-being and happiness. Because once you do that and you really start to own who you are and that you're responsible for yourself, it's just amazing, the difference. And kind of like, it's almost like life just opens up there, and you're sort of free. And it's I mean, obviously you know, kind of my journey is still ongoing, you know. I think it always will be, but there is so much help out there, and so many people doing amazing things, obviously, like yourself. And the one thing that I really want to do through Find Your Bloom is to kind of really showcase all of these things. That's why events are such a big part of it, and just really give people the tools and the resources, and also, you know, kind of a safe space to kind of you know, to work towards kind of having that control back, really. And yeah, you know, that's just what I want, really. I just want people to kind of have that power back, because it sounds such a simple thing, but it's actually more difficult than you think to do. And once you do it, it's just amazing. It's life changing. So I got a lot from you know, when I was in kind of my bad place, and I was going through my stuff. I had loads of support from kind of, you know, from people that I found online, or, you know, kind of different things I'd read, and I just really want to give something back, I suppose, and just help other people do the same. So,
well, we think that's fabulous. So where can people find out about you and your fabulous event? Where's the best place to go?
It's probably to go to the website, which is literally, it's just www.findyourbloom.com, and it's all on there. We've got an event tab, but there's also the different tabs of, you know, all the different things that are coming, because there's going to be lots of exciting things sort of in the whole resources section coming this winter. So that's
brilliant.
Exciting. Find all of that there, and then obviously my social media, either look for Find Your Bloom or Jo Meakin, and you'll find me, because I think I'm on pretty much everything. So
if you don't follow Jo on LinkedIn, then for me that's a great space, because Jo is there almost every day doing a video, talking sense, and just sharing really her story and what's going on in her life. So I always look out for those now in the mornings, because I know you're going to appear in my feed, and I love to listen to what you've got to say. So Jo, my final question to you as always is, reconnection, what does it mean to you?
Well, I think quite simply, reconnection to me means just kind of finding that person again that you are inside, and kind of, you know, just reconnecting with yourself and taking back that control over who you are, and really disconnecting from all of the outside influences that maybe you've kind of given yourself to. So yeah, I think that's probably what reconnection means to me. So.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, well, we hope that you have enjoyed another episode of the Reconnection Space. Remember, we are bringing you interviews every single week with fabulous people. We've also started to interview people around the globe, so do watch out. So if you loved Joe's interview, which I know you will have, then click like, but also remember to click on that all-important subscribe button. The more subscribers we get, the more benefits we get, the more opportunities we have to spread the word and share the stories and help keep us, of course, always reconnected. So we wish you a wonderful week, a mindful week. We hope you never miss an episode of the Reconnection Space. And if you have a story that you think our listeners and our viewers would love to hear about your reconnection moment, then drop us a note here at Be More, because we are always looking for new and amazing guests to share their story. Thank you once again, Joe. It's been lovely to talk to you. Bye, everybody.